Shalom, brothers and sisters. Grace, mercy, and peace be unto you from Yahuwah, our Father, and Yahusha. He is the Mashayah, the one that carries the burden of Yah, his voice, our high priest, soon coming king. Hear, O Yeshua, Yahuwah, who is our mighty one. He is one. There is no other mighty one, brothers and sisters, than Yahuwah. And Yahusha is his voice. This is Brother Dawood coming to you again to bring you the last feast of the 7th month. Sakat. It equals a hut. This is the Feast of Tabernacles, the Feast of Dwellings. Over all the years, we came through many different transliterations for this name. Sukkah, Sakat, Sakat. We're finally at the end. Here's the Paleo-Hebrew. Simple 3 letters. The first letter is Sa. The second letter is Ka. And the last letter is Ta. Sa Kat. We can close the chapter now on this name. Do you understand what I just told you? We are able to correct everything that we do. We constantly seek perfection. The problem with most of the people that you will visit is that they'll stick to things. Even if they're wrong, they will not change their behavior. Don't you be like that. Constantly seek perfection. In the 7th month, we're supposed to build this hut. Where? In your yard? And if you don't have a yard and you live in an apartment, you can build your memorial in your home. Let's begin. We'll look at all of the particulars that we are to keep for the feast of Sakat. Wayakara, that's Leviticus 23, 33 to 35. 33. And Yahuwah spake unto Moshe. The speaker is he who is seated upon the throne. The recipient is Moshe. Moshe received all the laws from Yahuwah. These are not the laws of Moshe. They are not the laws of a man. These laws came from the heavens, saying, 34, speak unto the children of Yisrael. That is the target group. Saying that the 15th day of this 7th month, where you found trumpets, where you found atonement, shall be the Feast of Tabernacles for 7 days unto Yahuwah. Do you see what's happening here? Everything that is spoken of, 15 day, 7th month, 7 days, is rooted in time. Where did Satan focus his efforts and his deceptions in time. Why? Because there's some of Yah's days that are in the covenant that leads to death if you don't keep them right. For example, your weekly Sabbath. There was a guy caught gathering sticks. They brought him to Masha. He was the first one, so they said, "What are we to do with him?" Masha said, "Let me ask Yahuwah." Yahuwah said, "Put him to death." So there are days that lead to death. Another one, Passover. For the soul that eats anything leavened shall be cut off from the congregation. 7 days you have to eat unleavened bread. And if you eat anything leavened in that time, you'll be cut off. What does that mean? Death. What about the Day of Atonement? The day that we're celebrating right now? What did he say? The one who did not afflict himself? The one who went to work? If you do either of those things, you shall be cut off from the congregation. Note, what if you have the wrong day? Look what he said. The 15th day of this 7th month. If you start from the dark moon, you'll be in the 16th day. If you start your count from the full moon, saying that the full moon is the new moon, day 1, you're going to be in the 29th day. It would lead you to darkness. If you start from the slither of light, the crescent moon, which is in the book, 1/2 of a 7th part, which equals 1/14th part of light, you have the right starting point. Now you can count to the 15th day. What about in a month? If you added an additional month to the calendar, you're going to be in the 8th month, aren't you? Hold it. What did he say? The 15th day of the 7th month. If you add an additional month, come on. We can count, can't we? You will be in the 8th month. Did you violate this law? Of course you did. He said, "Do not add to or take away from this book of the law." If you add a month to the calendar, the person is going to be in a different month than the appointed feast. You're going to miss the appointment. What will you be doing? You'll be eating leavened bread, or bread with leaven in it. Yeah. You'll miss the Day of Atonement. You'll have your celebration on an abominable day. Yah will not accept it. The only way that you can find Yah's days is through the path of years. In this time that you are stable and your thought processes can be centered on one thing, ask Yah for clarity on the path of years. Ask him to teach you everything so that you can teach others. 35. On the first day, it's going to be a holy convocation. It's a gathering. Can we do that here, Brother Dawood? No, we can't, because we don't have the temple to gather at, nor are the Levites assembled, nor are we in the land. So we can't gather. What do? We stay in our homes And if you have family members or friends who are alone, they can come over and celebrate with you. What are we going to do on that day? You shall do no servile work therein. That means you can't go to your workplace. But at home, you can bake, you can boil, you can kindle a fire. Everything you need to do to prepare for this feast. 36. 7 days you shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah. Brother Dawood, how do we offer anything to Yahuwah? We have no Levites. We have no temple, no tabernacle. We're in the land of our captivity. What are we to do? You don't have to do nothing about the offering. Yahuwah chose for us a priest to be in the heavens, the one who can come into the Holy of Holies, the one who did not need the blood of bulls and goats in order to approach the throne, but he gave his own blood that was sufficient enough for him to enter in. He's going to have all of your offerings, all of your sacrifices. Everything is handled by Yahusha, the Mashayah, the one that carries the burden of Yah. Let's continue. Also, on the 8th day, shall be a holy convocation, a gathering unto you. So after you finish the 7 days of ingathering and offerings, if you were in the land, there's going to be an 8th day, also a gathering. And you shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah. It is a solemn assembly, and you shall do no servile work therein. So you got 2 days that you cannot do any servile work. The 15th day, and the 8th day. The 15th day is day 15, and the 8th day is day 22. 37. These are the feasts of Yahuwah, which you shall proclaim to be holy convocations, to offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah. Look what Yahushua is going to do for you. A burnt offering, a meat offering, a sacrifice, a drink offering, everything upon his day. Whose day is that? Yahuwah. He's in the heavens making all of this for you. What did he say when he was here in Matthew 5? Till heaven and earth pass away, not one dot or tittle shall in no wise pass from this law, to all be fulfilled. So he has to carry out all of the pertinent sacrifices and offerings in the heavens on your behalf. All you have to do is participate in this feast. 38. Beside the Shabbats of Yahuwah, and beside your gifts, and besides all your vows, and besides all your free will offerings, which you give unto Yahuwah. Can you do that here? If there's any ministry that tells you to do this here, run. It's a lie. Your gifts, your vows, your free will offerings can only be given to Lauyah. You call them the Levites? Yeah. Only they can receive them. Plus, you don't have anything to give him anyway. You don't have a harvest, do you? 39. Also, in the 15th day of the 7th month, when you have gathered in the fruit of the land, can we stop? This is the Feast of Ingathering. When is the other Feast of Ingathering? They call it the Feast of Weeks, Shabuat. The Jews call it Shavuot. The Greeks call it Pentecost. It's the next Feast of Ingathering. Is Passover a Feast of Ingathering? The answer is no. Passover is in the first month. You would plant your seeds maybe the month or two before. And the first sprout that comes out of the ground is what you would take to the priest on the day after the Shabbat. And the priest will wave it on your behalf before Yahuwah. Here he is. He's brought the sheaf, the beginning of the harvest, the beginning of its growth. May you pour out your precious rains, heat and dew, so that it may multiply and be abundant. The Father only wants you to bring your gifts from what He has given you. He is responsible to make sure that the fruit of the land comes forth at its appointed time, as long as you follow instructions. What if you don't bring the sheaf to the priest, Brother Dawood bin Yashayahu? Well, you can watch your neighbor's field being watered and the sun shining upon it and the abundance. But on your field, no rain. Then he sends the cankerworm, the palmer worm, and the locust to eat up the residue. He controls the elements. This is why you have to bring the sheaf to the priest and wave it before him. Let you know that you're keeping his laws, and then he will open up these windows for you and target your fields, and you shall have an abundance. So once you've gathered in the fruit of the land, you know the harvest that he has given you, you shall keep a feast unto Yahuwah for 7 days. You're going to celebrate that. On the first day, the 15th day, shall be a Shabbat. And on the 8th day, the 22nd day, on the lunar calendar we're speaking of, shall be a Shabbat. 40. And you shall take on the first day, that's the 15th day, the boughs of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and the boughs of thick trees, and willows of the brook. You're going to build your booth, your hut, your Sakat on the first day, which is the 15th day. But I want you to realize something. Palm trees only grow in tropical climates. He's only speaking of the promised land. Isn't that the place where he brought his people to dwell. It's not like the climates in the European nations. It's warm year round. If you understand what I'm saying, they tried to make time and adjust it to the climates of the European nations. I mean, they had weather patterns there where you have snowstorms and it comes below zero. Not in the promised land. Not in Yah's land. So in order for them to try to look legitimate, they have to make an adjustment. Do you? Of course not. But on the 15th day, you're going to cut down these trees to put on top of your hut. And you shall rejoice before Yahuwah, your Allah Yakam, 7 days. I remember when we discovered that here. Yeah. And we didn't know what it meant. And I prayed and I asked the Father to reveal himself to us. And he did, immediately. We looked on the chart and we seen that every letter meant something. Here's the translation of this title. And you can check it yourself, each letter, and you'll see. He is the powerful shepherd of men. His name is Yah, who stretched forth his arm with an open palm to the waters. Who are the waters? The children of Yesharu. Now you see why the translators did not put these titles in. They wanted to promote their Christianity. They can't let you know that he who is seated upon the throne only came from one person, even though it's in the book, but they know that they've used and cast a spell on you, and you can't see it. He only stretched forth his arm to one people. He only delivered one people from the land of Egypt. He only made a covenant with one people. He only made an old covenant and a new covenant with one people. All the way to Revelation, there is no other people that are going to walk into the gates of the city than the children of Yesharu. Each one of our tribes have their own gate, and the foundations of the city are the names of the apostles of the Lamb. Who's going to enter in? Only those who keep his commandments. 41. And you shall keep it a feast unto Yahuwah 7 days in the year. It shall be a statute forever in your generations. Hold it. How long is forever? Till heaven and earth pass away. Has heaven and earth passed away? No. You still have to keep this. You were under covenant already. You have to return to the covenant and carry it out in detail. All of these things you can do. The only thing you can't do is make a sacrifice. And you were never responsible for that in the first place. The Father chose the priest to carry out the sacrifice. First, the priest of Harun. Then, once we were in captivity, he chose us a priest from the tribe of Yehuda. And this priest could not be a priest on earth. He can only be a priest in the heavens through the amendment, the addition to the law, so that all of the laws can constantly be carried out. The Father, he took care of his end of the covenant. Now, the only thing you have to do is return to it and take care of your end. You shall celebrate this in the 7th month, not the 8th month, not the 9th month. It has to be the 7th month, according to the path of years, according to the lunar event. 42. You shall dwell in Sakat 7 days. All that are Yisharul Yam born shall dwell in booths. Seed. Bloodline. The children of Yisharul. You have to do this. Brother Dawood? What about the stranger? If the stranger wants to sojourn with you, if he wants to come into the land with you, he has to do everything that you do. Now you see that mixed multitude. Do you think that they dwelt in booths in the wilderness for 40 years under these strict laws? 43. That your generations may know that I made the children of Yisharul to dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. Why? Because we transgressed the law at the mount. We made an image of an Epis bull, saying, "This be the mighty one that brought us out of the land of Egypt." Blasphemy! And he killed off most of them. The commemoration for dwelling in booths is so that you can remember your transgression of the law at the mount. That's why you build it every year. When you look upon that structure, remember not to transgress Yah's laws anymore. That is what this commemoration is for. Look, he signed his name. You know, the one who delivered the children of Yisharul from the land of Egypt. I am Yahuwah, your powerful shepherd of men, who is Yah, who stretched forth his arm with an open palm to the waters. 44. And Masha declared unto the children of Yisharul the feast of Yahuwah. Brother Kuya's calendar. Thank you, Brother Kuya. This is an invaluable aid for us to learn how to count the days. This calendar is very simple, brothers and sisters. Just remember this. Brother Kuya is overlaying the lunar calendar that's in the sky on top of Pope Gregory's calendar that's on paper, so that you can find Yah's days in this matrix in which was created for us. Identify day number 19 in red. That was New Moon's Day, Feast of Trumpets. We came through that one. Praise Yah. I was with my support group. We ate, we drank, and we were merry. Come down to day number 10. Well, 28 in red. Day number 10 in blue. Blue is the lunar calendar. That's where we're at today. We're in the Day of Atonement. We're afflicting our souls. When you come out on the end, if you followed instructions, You're going to be whiter than snow. Ask him for wisdom and knowledge. Ask him to teach you how to count the days. And he will. All of us here on this channel must duplicate ourselves so that we can spread this message to the masses. All right, so after today, which is day number 10 in blue, we're going to count 5 more days on the lunar calendar to come to the feast. You see the next one, 29 in red, and you see 11 next to it. Okay, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. In the evening of the 14th begins the 15th day. How does a day work? From evening to evening. Do you see the circle there? Identify day number 1 in yellow, and day 14 is next to it. Let's read what Brother Kuya has put in the box. It's the second Sabbath day of the month. It's a full moon outside. Hey, when does the full moon come out? In the evening of the 13th. And then when the sun rises on the 14th, you can see the sun in the east and the moon in the west. They will be facing each other. Go out and observe it. It's going to be magnificent. So it's the second Sabbath day. It's going to be a full moon, and day 1 of the Feast of Booths, Sakat. When does it start? In the evening. So in the evening of the 14th to the evening of the 15th is the 15th day. How does a lunar day work? From evening to evening. How does a solar day work? From sunrise to sunrise. Then it says that you are to keep this Shabbat for 7 days. Come over to day number 15 in this teal color, and it says day number 2 in yellow. It's the second Sabbath day. It's a full moon. The full moon is beginning to wane. And day 1 of the Feast of Booths, Sakat. So from day 1, we have to keep it for 7 days. So we count 15, you see it there, 16, see it in blue, 17, 18, that's 4 days, 19, 20, that's 6 days. On the 20th in the evening to the 21st in the evening is the 7th day. Let's read what Brother Kuya has put in the box. In the box, it'll be number 8 in yellow, but number 21 in blue. It's the third Shabbat day in the evening, and day number 7 of Feast of Booths, Sakat. So in the evening of the 21st, after it's over, you're going directly into the 8th day. See it there? It's identified as day number 9 in yellow, day number 22 in blue, and they have lines under them. You see it there? Yeah. What have you noticed? The 8th day is also our weekly Shabbat day. But on this day, and on the 15th day, no servile work can be done. But you can bake, you can boil, you can kindle a fire, everything you need to do to prepare for your feast. He removed the restrictions on the 15th and the 22nd so you can have a celebration, so you can prepare and do all the things necessary to make it a joy. Isn't this beautiful what he has done? all of his days line up. Do you know that there's an eighth day for every single one of the feasts so far? Let's start with New Moon's Day. First, you have New Moon's Day, right? Look up top. You'll see it in day number 19 in red, day number 1 in blue, and in the 7th month. New Moon's Day is standalone. The people will go to the temple. The gates of the temple are open on this day. Yeah. On New Moon's Day. Then it tells you that the gates of the temple are shut for the 6 working days. You see day number 20? Come down to the bottom, you see 1. You're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to come to your first Shabbat day in the evening. Yeah, from evening of the 7th to the evening of the 8th is your Shabbat. What day is your first Shabbat of the month? Day number 8. So your months always begin with an 8-day count. The Feast of Unleavened Bread, 8-day count. 7 days you must eat unleavened bread. Then after the 7 days comes the Shabbat. That'll be your 8th day. Then the day after the Shabbat, you bring the sheaf to the priest. What about the Feast of Weeks? The Feast of Weeks, 7 Shabbats must be complete. The last week, that last 7 days of the Shabbat, you're going to come to the 7th day, and then the day after the Shabbat, which will be the 8th day, there's another 8th-day count that you celebrate Pentecost. Then you come to the Feast of Booths, Tabernacles, Sakat. There's another 8-day count. The 15th day, you have your feast. No servile work can be done. You can bake, you can boil, kindle a fire, build your booth. You're going to have that feast for 7 days. You're going to come to the 21st. Then the 8th day would be the 22nd. Are you with me? 8th day, 8th day, 8th day, 8th day. That's the way Yah counts the days. And that's perfect. And anyone who speaks against it has spit in the face of he who has created it. Brothers and sisters, go over this, learn it, so that you can prepare for the next feast after your cleansing. Shalom. By the way, love you guys.